In a world of evolving scams and digital threats, knowledge is your strongest defense. Welcome to Michael's Cyber Shield. Stay informed, stay protected, stay one step ahead.
Stop everything for a moment, because the 2026 World Cup has only just begun, and FIFA is already facing the one image it never wanted the world to see: empty seats at the biggest football tournament on Earth. This was supposed to be the most powerful opening week in World Cup history, with 3 host countries, massive stadiums, global superstars, record attention, and millions of fans watching from every corner of the planet. But on day one, the conversation did not stay only on goals, celebrations, and national pride. Instead, fans started asking a very uncomfortable question. If the World Cup is truly the people's tournament, why are ordinary people struggling to afford it? And why are seats appearing empty at matches that millions of football fans dream of attending? Stay with me until the end, because this is not fake drama. This is not a made-up scandal. And this is not about saying the World Cup has failed. This is about something much deeper: the growing gap between FIFA's global football business and the fans who give the game its soul. And before we begin, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, because here we cover real football updates without fake headlines, without false claims, and without misleading hype. The 2026 FIFA World Cup was marketed as the biggest World Cup ever. For the first time, the tournament is being hosted across the United States, Mexico, and Canada. More teams, more matches, more cities, more stadiums, and more money are involved than ever before. FIFA wanted this tournament to feel historic from the very first whistle. The opening day was meant to send a clear message to the world. Football is bigger than ever, the World Cup is stronger than ever, and the global game has entered a new era. But the first day also reminded FIFA of a painful truth. Bigger does not always mean better if the fans feel left behind. The opening match between Mexico and South Africa gave FIFA the kind of story it wanted at first. Mexico, one of the host nations, stepped onto the field with huge pressure and huge support. The stadium atmosphere was intense, the crowd was loud, and Mexico delivered a 2-0 victory. For Mexican fans, it was a proud start. A host nation winning the opening match creates emotion, energy, and national celebration. It gives the tournament the kind of early spark FIFA wants. On the pitch, Mexico did the job. They got the result, gave their fans something to celebrate, and started their campaign in strong fashion. But even that opening match came with tension. South Africa had disciplinary problems. Red card controversy became part of the story, and the match was not remembered only for the scoreline. When a World Cup starts, FIFA usually wants clean images: smiling fans, beautiful football, flags waving, and headlines about unity. Instead, the first match already brought drama, debate, and frustration. That alone would not have been a disaster. World Cup matches are emotional, and controversy is part of football. But what happened next created a much bigger problem for FIFA. In the match between South Korea and Czechia, South Korea came from behind and won 2-1. From a football point of view, it was a strong result and an exciting comeback. But many people were not only talking about the result. They were talking about what they could see in the stands. Empty red seats were visible during the match, and that image quickly became a symbol of a much bigger concern. This is where FIFA's nightmare began. Because at the World Cup, perception matters almost as much as reality. Even if official attendance numbers are high, even if some fans are standing in concourses, even if some ticket holders arrive late, the camera does not explain all that. The camera simply shows seats. And when people see empty seats at a World Cup match, the reaction is immediate. Something is wrong. This is not because football has lost its popularity. Football is still the biggest sport in the world. The World Cup still has unmatched global power. Millions of people would love to attend even one match in their lifetime. That is why the image of empty seats hits so hard. It does not suggest that people do not care. It suggests that something may be blocking real fans from getting inside the stadium. And the first thing people point to is ticket prices. For months, fans have been complaining about expensive World Cup tickets. The issue is not just that tickets cost money. Every major sporting event is expensive. The real issue is whether the tournament is becoming too expensive for ordinary supporters. Football has always belonged to working people, families, communities, and passionate fans who follow their teams through joy and heartbreak. But when a World Cup ticket becomes a luxury product, the emotional identity of the tournament starts to change. Dynamic pricing has made this debate even more intense. In simple words, dynamic pricing means ticket prices can rise based on demand. If more people want a ticket, the price can go higher. From a business point of view, FIFA and organizers may see this as a way to maximize revenue. But from a fan point of view, it feels like punishment for passion. The more people love the match, the more expensive it becomes. The bigger the game, the harder it becomes for normal fans to attend. That creates anger, because fans do not see themselves as ordinary customers. They see themselves as part of the game. A football fan is not like someone casually buying a product online. A fan may save money for months, travel across countries, buy jerseys, pay for hotels, pay for food, pay for transport, and plan their whole life around one match. For many fans, the World Cup is not just entertainment. It is a dream. So when ticket prices rise too high, it does not simply feel expensive. It feels like exclusion. It feels like the tournament is saying, you can love football, but you may not be able to enter. That is why the empty seat image is so damaging for FIFA. Empty seats at a World Cup do not just look bad. They create a moral question. If seats are empty inside the stadium while real fans are outside because they cannot afford tickets, then the system looks broken. It suggests that money is being placed above atmosphere, above access, and above the people who make football special. FIFA can argue that demand is still strong. FIFA can say tickets have been sold. FIFA can say the tournament is huge and millions are watching. All of that may be true, but the criticism does not disappear, because the World Cup is not only measured in revenue. It is measured in emotion. It is measured in sound, color, passion, and the feeling that the world has come together. If stadiums look corporate, quiet, or half-filled in sections, the emotional power of the tournament weakens. This is especially dangerous in 2026 because the tournament is taking place in very large stadiums. Big stadiums can create incredible atmospheres when they are full. But when visible sections are empty, the emptiness becomes even more noticeable. A smaller stadium with a full crowd can feel electric. A massive stadium with gaps can feel strange, even if tens of thousands of people are still there. For television viewers, those images shape the story. The bigger question is this: who is the modern World Cup really for? Is it for the lifelong fan who has followed their national team for decades? Is it for families who want to experience history together? Is it for young fans seeing their heroes for the first time? Or is it becoming mainly a premium event for tourists, sponsors, corporate guests, and people who can pay whatever price appears on the screen? That question is uncomfortable for FIFA because the organization often presents the World Cup as a tournament for everyone. The language is always about unity, global celebration, and bringing people together. But if the pricing structure makes ordinary fans feel pushed out, then the message and the reality do not match. And when the message and reality do not match, trust starts to break. There is also the issue of resale. Expensive tickets and resale markets can create another problem. Some people buy tickets not because they plan to attend, but because they hope to resell them for profit. If resale prices become too high and buyers do not appear, seats can remain empty. That creates the worst possible outcome. Genuine fans cannot afford to go, resellers do not fill the seats, and the stadium atmosphere suffers. In that situation, everybody loses except the system that turned football passion into a financial game. FIFA's challenge now is not just to run the tournament. It has to protect the image of the tournament. It has to show that the World Cup still belongs to fans. That means ticket access matters, pricing matters, transparency matters, crowd atmosphere matters, fan zones, transport, safety, and local community concerns all matter. The World Cup is too big to be treated only as a business operation. It is a cultural event, and culture cannot survive without people feeling included. Day 1 did not destroy the 2026 World Cup. Let's be clear about that. The tournament is still alive, the matches are happening, fans are watching, and big moments will come. There will be goals, upsets, star performances, emotional celebrations, and unforgettable stories. But Day 1 did expose a weakness. It showed that the biggest World Cup in history can still face a basic problem. If fans feel priced out, the celebration starts to lose its heart. That is FIFA's real nightmare. Not that football is unpopular, not that people do not care. The nightmare is that people care deeply, but the system may be making it harder for them to be physically present. The nightmare is that the world's most beloved tournament could start looking like an event for the few instead of a celebration for the many. The nightmare is that instead of talking only about football, people are talking about money. And that is why the empty seats matter. They are not just empty seats. They are a warning sign. They are a visual symbol of a larger debate about access, fairness, and the future of football. If FIFA listens, adjusts, and protects the fan experience, this controversy may become only an early lesson. But if the same images continue, if fans keep complaining about prices, and if ordinary supporters keep feeling pushed away, this story will not disappear. It will follow the tournament. The World Cup is special because of the fans. The songs, the flags, the tears, the colors, the families, the noise, and the emotional connection are what make it different from every other event. Players create the magic on the pitch, but fans create the soul around it. Without that soul, football becomes just another expensive show. So yes, the 2026 World Cup has begun. Mexico won. South Korea won. The tournament is moving forward, but FIFA has already received a serious warning on Day 1. The biggest football event in the world cannot only be big in money, stadiums, sponsors, and television deals. It must also be big in access, atmosphere, and respect for the fans. Because if the World Cup becomes too expensive for the people who love it most, then empty seats are only the beginning of the problem. The real danger is empty trust. And once fans stop believing that the World Cup belongs to them, FIFA's worst nightmare becomes much bigger than a few empty rows on camera. It becomes a question about the future of the game itself. So, what do you think? Are World Cup ticket prices becoming too expensive for ordinary fans, or is this simply the reality of modern football? Share your opinion in the comments. If you found this video helpful, like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more real World Cup updates without fake hype.